this really is a session to introduce the administrator's role in U3AWeb, to try and give people maybe who are fairly new to it an idea on how the basics work. And this was going to start right at the beginning, and hopefully that will everybody will be able to sort of keep up. But if you've got any questions, please stop me and ask at the time. That would be great. Good. Okay. Right. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen with you all, and we'll use that as the basis of where we go. Okay. Right. Let's make a start then. So this is just a test system I'm going to use this afternoon. So it's just going to be sort of fairly rubbish data, but hopefully we'll give you the idea of what we're doing. To start with, I think you just want to talk about the basic structure of the site, and there are four main sections: the header section at the top, the top menu, the side menu, and then the body of the system. And what I was going to do today is really just talk about the three sections, excluding the body. We can come back and talk about the body maybe on a future one, but I think probably we're going to spend enough time today on these three. So these are the ones that you use to sort of set the system up in the way that you want it to look. The whole system is driven by a set of parameters which you've got in. If you go into systems details, update systems details. So you can see that, all right? Yep. Yeah. So there's a massive parameters here. Again, I think probably the best thing, I'm going to use this afternoon, but I think that we'll probably need a separate session to go through systems details in more detail. But I'm going to have to come in here and put use some of the parameters that are set here. So I'll come back to back to this quite a lot this afternoon. So what I want to start with is the top menu. This menu along here, and this is configured in quite a few ways, and a lot of the configuration is done in this particular item in system details called the horizontal menu. And so if I just work my way across the top here, the home page is always there. It's a compulsory entry on the top menu, and that will show you've got two home pages, one when somebody's logged out or a visitor, and one when people are logged in. And you can set those up completely differently, because you probably want to say different things to members that you want to say to visitors as an introduction. So that one is there all the time, and again we'll come back to in a future one what you can put into that home page. The next one, about, and I don't know what the other one said. Yes. So if you look here, you've got in the top menu parameters, you've got three entries here, which used to be called the welcome page, the about page, and the constitution. But in time now, they just have become pages that you can use to put in anything you like. Again, you set them up in systems details, and you call them, you give them their name here. So this one is about. That's because I've typed in about there. This one, sorry, yes, and then this one, constitution, is not there on this line because you've got these three parameters or here of whether you show them or not show them under particular things. So if you wanted to show this one, come and join the Disney U3A, to visitors, you set this one to shown, and then not logged in means people who've been in before, so members who are, but their computer knows they've been before, but haven't logged in. So so you can have it not shown there and not shown in logged in, or whatever you can choose. You can set pages up that you want to talk to visitors about.
Chris,
yeah.
Is come and join Disney U3A equivalent to home?
No, it's another page which you can set up. So,
right.
So if I just change this not shown to shown and update it. So I've now told it to include this item here.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a new paper. While I'm here, I'll show you something here. Which one thing you've got to be very careful about is not putting too much in this top line, because if you do, you get this overflow situation. And when you do that, it effectively causes a couple of problems. So you've got to choose what you want in here, and you can switch things off and switch things on. Because I've added this come and join, and it's a long description, it's used a lot of this top line and therefore forced the overflow, which has caused this problem. So we can just.
Thanks. Sorry, Chris.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I have Molly Pam who's waiting to be let into this meeting.
Oh, I haven't got a. Right, hang on a minute. Let's see if I can find it. Hang on, because I've got no invite here. Normally it comes up and says somebody's waiting to come in, but I haven't got anybody. Hang on, look, see if it's...
She says she's clicked on the link and it says waiting to be let in.
Right.
Tell her to come out and do it again, because I haven't seen one either.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting that. So yes, I think.
Okay, I'll tell her to try again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Sorry. So back to using this horizontal menu, I'll just turn this shown to not shown off again and update it. And that will disappear.
Yeah, thank you.
It's probably worth saying, Chris, that overflow that you've just mentioned is probably mainly relevant to administrators, because they tend to get the system details and other things at the top line that other members don't.
That's true. That's true. And maybe member view as well, using member view. So the membership secretary, directory, that sort of thing will also tend to put more things into that top line. But so we just have to be aware of it, really. So let's go back there again. So the contact us page. This is the page where you list your who are your committee. Perhaps you may want to put them in, or maybe people who you want to who can you allow members to contact you with. This is a member only page. So people who are not logged in or or visitors don't get to see this page. Because it's got things like it can email individuals who you put here. So it's there as a it's always here on this top line, but you can call it what you like. You might call it the committee. You make whatever you want to do. So let's go back there again.
With that contacts page, Chris, ordinary members don't see all of that you've just seen, do they? They just get the name of the person, what their job is, and a link for email. They don't get all the other rubbish that's on there as well. That's only for
No,
administrators.
that's right. That's right. They don't get so it's this stuff on the right is where you can set things like generic emails and you can decide things are in this list but not visible to other people, because you may want because it also uses things to be the contact us email. So this one here is the contact us one, but you may not want to show that on the thing. So yes. So
Chris, could you just repeat what the A, B, and C used to be called, so I can find out where you change them?
Yeah. Yes. Hang on. Let's go back to the horizontal menu again. Oh, they used to be called welcome, about, and constitution, but now you can call them what you like, and you can put what you like in there. This was we did this at this because the top line was getting quite full, so we can things like the constitution can go as an extra page on the side menu, and therefore it gives you more room at the top. So it was to try and get less, just to make more space, really. Okay. Right. So also on that line are for people who are who have membership authority and directory authority, and I think again I won't go into authorities today, and I think probably that's another session at some point to go through what the authorities allow various people to do. But for the moment, anyway, if you've got membership authority or directory authority, you've got this members view item here, which allows you to put in somebody's number. And get their details up. It is not one you can switch off. It's there if you are the membership secretary, and it isn't there if you're not, or who haven't got those authority levels. Change of pass. You've got obviously things like log in and log out, change of password, and if you log out, as well as the login, you've also got forgotten password. These come on this. These come automatically. Login. And then, as far as the systems details, you've got a further drop down here, which has got 4 entries here. The bottom one I'll come back to soon. That is the side. That's the way in which you configure the side menu, and I'll go through that in a minute. But these other 3 refer to the way in which either going into systems details or the way in which you configure the way you want to display your systems details. And again, we'll put that aside and come back to that on a future session. Right, now going back to I'll go back into horizontal menu again. You've got 2 items here, which is what's described here as day and day category. This is whether or not, when you have a group list, whether you give the people an option of whether or not they can select a particular category, or if they're using the category search, or a particular day if they're using the week search. To be honest, I don't think it's terribly useful, but it is there, and what I'll do is just turn it on and show you what it does. So if we go into the group list and we go by category, another entry appears at the top here, which allows you to just select there's not much in literature, so let's go cluster 1. You notice that by using that again, it's blown the width, it blew the width again. You know, if I select it, it does this. So you've got to be careful if you put this in. And to be honest, I really don't think it has much value. But anyway, yeah. And if you're using the day by day one, you can just choose Wednesdays. So you can switch that off or on depending, you know, for the logged in, the not logged in, or the visitor as you want.
I'd be surprised if as many as 1 in 50 people that use the system have even noticed that.
I agree.
You think 1 in 50? Oh, I would have gone 1 in a million.
Oh well, okay. I was perhaps being a little bit optimistic.
Yeah. So yeah. So basically, it's there if anybody wants it. If you don't, then just turn it off, and we'll just leave it there. The last item on here is a search item, which again you can switch off or switch on to whoever you want, and you know, probably you wouldn't have it there available to the visitor, but you might do. But it's a search feature which searches all through the system. Yes, so it's a search feature which you can add or not as you want to. It's there. I don't know how widely that's used. Do people use it?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah, good. Okay. Right.
It might be worth mentioning, Chris, there that search facility is to an extent limited by your hierarchy, your rights, as it were, because an administrator searches the whole blasted thing, doesn't it?
Yes,
whereas a normal member, there are certain things that are excluded.
Yeah, in fact, it's almost the other way around, isn't it? There are the ordinary member gets a very limited thing of search, doesn't it? Groups and meetings and outings and that sort of thing, but certainly not an awful lot more, I would guess.
Yeah.
Right. Good. Okay. So the last thing on this line is at the far end here is the version number of the system that you're using, which I've got this on at 11.10 at the moment. And if you're logged out, all it is just a little display. But if you're logged in, you can click on it, and it gives you the release notes, which you can of the various versions of what has been put in under the various versions. So it's just there. So again, probably not only you probably only ever use the last one. But anyway, it's there to have a look at. So what I will do is I'll come back to colours and that sort of things at the end when we'll look at all the colours all together rather than separately. So obviously I put some very garish colours into this just to show, you know, what could be done. But anyway, I'll come back to it a little later on. So I think that sort of completes the top menu. Is everybody happy with that? Has anybody got any questions on that? And fairly straightforward. Good. Right. Okay. We'll then go on to the side menu then. The first thing to say is the width of this is fixed, and so you can't have wider menu items than they are there. They will always be that width, but you can change the text. You can make the text smaller and therefore get more characters in if you want to. And if you put too many in, like this one here, it overflows and just truncates it, and you can't see the R of calendar. So you just, when you're designing the side menu, you need to just be careful about make sure it fits. So the thing about the side menus to say is that this is very much driven by the authority level that you are, or you know, the authorities you've been granted. You can see on mine here, where I've got them all set on, the menu becomes very long, and obviously, if you're an ordinary member with no authority levels, then you'll probably get considerably less items in this. You can choose the where each of these items appear. Sorry, looking the wrong one. Where each of these items appear, you can choose the sequence in which they come. You can choose the color. You can choose the text color. You can obviously you can choose whether they appear or not. And there are three types of entries you have in here. You have straightforward menu items like this one here. You have submenus which require a heading menu item. So this one, for my information, doesn't actually do anything except open the side menu, and then you have side menu items which you can show there. So so there are obviously an awful lot of menu entries. I think it's getting on towards 100 of them, and you probably won't use. There's an awful lot you won't use, and hopefully a lot you'll hide behind submenus as well. So three types: the menu, the heading, and the submenu. You can make each one. You don't have to have them all the same color, as you can see here. You can change the colors of them, and you can change the whole setup of them individually if you want to, or you can do them all in one go. Obviously, if you're not logged in, you get a completely different set. You decide which ones are shown for not logged in as well, and I'll come to that in a minute. There's two parts to the side menu. One is the login. One is the update side menu, which is the one here, and also the horizontal menu, which is the one we looked at a minute. It's called the horizontal menu for historical reasons because it started off that way and then has been used for other things. You can rename that to some sort of menu configurer if you want to, or whatever you want to call it. But, anyway, we'll have a look. At the side menu. One thing I should say: there are other items which you don't necessarily, that come and go depending on whether or not they are needed. And probably the most important of those is the payments one. So if somebody owes something, then this item will appear as long as you have it switched on. I'll show you how to switch it on in a minute. As long as you've got it switched on, the system then decides whether or not to display it. So if they don't owe anything, if they paid their annual fee, there's no point in having them make a payment one. So that doesn't appear. Or if you don't use online cards or that sort of thing, then you switch it off at the start, and it never appears because you've overridden the thing and it's switched off. So the side menu, let's start it here. On the left-hand side here, you've got the thing about whether it's included in the list or not. So the item you've chosen, you decide. So you might put something in and then you want to take it out, and so you've got three options here. You've got not shown, so in which case it won't be in the menu at all. Whatever happens, whatever any other thing happens, it won't come out if you've got not shown against it. Shown live, which means it will be shown if the parameters are right. In other words, you owe some money, or you've switched it on somewhere else, which we'll come back to in a minute. And the third one is shown in draft, and that is available. So you can switch an item on, and it's only available to the administrator. So if you put an item there, it will, if it's due to come on, it will come on, but it will only be shown to if you have got your administrator authority. If you don't have it, you won't see it. So the sequence is absolutely what it says. The sequence in which it is produced down in the menu on this other side menu. And if you once you change a sequence, you can easily move things around just by changing the number here. So you know, if we wanted to change the puzzles group from, which is coming out at the top at the moment, and you wanted to put it near the bottom, or wherever it will come. Just one thing to say, I've updated that and it's still there. That is because the system generates the menu before it does the work that you've asked for it. So you do have to just refresh it twice in order to make certain it moves. So now it's moved from the top down to here. And because of that, this is always shown in that sequence as well. So we go down, we'll find it somewhere down here now. So I'll just change it back to 1. And it's back here. I think it's always worthwhile, if you're not using any of the ones shown as not shown, change their sequence number to 0, because then they'll all be at the top and they'll be there for when you want them. Otherwise, when you want one, you'll be scratching around halfway down trying to find a spare one. So it's worthwhile just changing it to 0 and updating it. And these all the ones with 0 will be shown at the top.
Sorry, Chris, one thing on the sequence numbers, I've always found it quite useful, not only here, but with any of the document store folder structure or anywhere there's a sequence, to leave gaps in the sequence rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
I've left, I don't know, 10, 100 or whatever gap between them. And I don't know whether there's a limit on the maximum sequence number, but I've certainly got up to 10,000.
Yes. I don't know, to be honest. I've never gone above 10,000, but I suspect that'll be enough anyway, won't it?
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, good. I think that's helpful. I think that's a good thing to do, although I haven't done it.
You know, why doesn't item 3 show?
This one here?
No. Sequence 3.
Active, right. Okay. This one here, yeah.
Yeah.
Archive, right. Because they are the system, because I'm not. I'm an archive.
Because of the one below it, Chris.
Sorry?
It's because of the one below it. It supersedes the one above.
Yeah, it's an either or situation there. You either are the archivist or you're not the archivist, and it's not If you're not the archivist, you get the member one, and that restricts what you can see in the archive.
Right. Okay.
So it's so you quite often find there's quite a few of those menu items where switch it on, switch it off type options. Or create a direct debit or cancel a direct debit. It's worthwhile putting those in with even perhaps with the same number, and so they'll always appear in the same place. They'll just either come with the connect or disconnect item against them. Right, we'll come back to the subsequence in a moment, but generally for menu entries, the subsequence is always 0. And if you put a number in it, you can get the system confused. If you're sort of telling them you want to be, because it's to do with submenus, and if you put it in, you can find that it puts the system off a bit. Right, okay, so the next item here is the menu name, and what we've got here is a whole list of them. These are all the menu items that you can use, which is probably what, I don't know, 70, 80 or something like that. So you just select the one you want. You can select the same one twice. You can have it on in 2 places if you want to. There's nothing to stop you doing that. You can just change an existing one by just changing the item you click here, and that will change what the menu will do if you click on it. So you may not like the description that's there. So this one here for documents, that's what it's called, but you might want to call it something different. At the moment, it is called documents, but if you want to change it, you can call it, I don't know,
Paperwork.
paperwork. Yeah, okay. And so now we push it the second time. It should have come up somewhere, but I can't see it.
Second one down, Chris.
Right, yeah, there you go. So it's yeah. So you can just change it to say what you want it to say. So even though it does a particular thing, you can describe it in any way you want to. Oops, wrong one. So what I did to get that was to click on the button alongside it. We'll come back to the colours. This is where you set up the name. You could also set up in some cases, the page heading associated with the item itself. So, you know, if you've called it paperwork, therefore you want the page, the actual body in the body to show paperwork as well. So you can put paperwork in there, or you might call it something else. So you can change the heading that comes out actually on the main thing as well there. The rest of it is all to do with the color scheme, both the background, the text color, the border around it, anyway, we'll come back to that a little later on when we do the color ones. Right. Okay. So just close it by clicking on there. So so if you just wanted to set up a new item that you want to have on here, you set it to live, see the sequence number you want, 45, select the name you want, I don't know, let's call it calendar. You change its name and then click on update, and so 45 here, so we should have one with Cal written on it somewhere, and there we are, that new item just appears here. So right, okay, so that's the main menu side. I'll just take that one back out again. Don't really want it. So not shown, back to 0. So not played it again.
When I take them out and put back to 0, Chris, I always put the menu name back to menu header as well, and that way it makes it ever so easy to spot which ones you can use.
I agree. Yes. I think that's good. That's good. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, let's do the menu header next. So the next thing is that you have here a thing called My Information, and I think that some people have been under the misapprehension that things that are going to be under My Information are preset. They're not. You can have anything you like under anything you like. So if you want to have a new sub menu, the first thing you do, let's find a number to put it under. Oh, 100. It can be 100. Right. Okay. So I want to have a new one to collect together. Oh, and I'll tell you what I'll use. I know what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the. I've got some venues here set up at 9999. At the moment, they all come out individually at the bottom here. So what I wanted to do was I want to put them in a submenu. So what I've got to do to start with is to I've got one here called menus, right? So I'm going to stick with the number they've used before, 4 nines, which mean it comes at the bottom. Set that to shown live. You select menu header, and now you're telling them, yes, I will, yeah. Yeah, so I set that, and then I've given it a description of venues. So alongside the menu header, in here, I put venues, and that's, so that's now, so if I now show that, if I want them to be in a sub-menu, I've got to now decide, here are my 4 items I want in this sub-menu. I've got to decide what sequence I want those in. So, so let's go 9, 7, 5, 8. That's 5, isn't it?
Can you use a leading 0 on there, Chris?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, okay.
See what happens. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it just treats it exactly the same as. So here they all are: 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So swap them back into the sequence that I selected, and if I go back here and hit the second one, so now I've got a sub menu here called venues, and I've got these 4 items sitting in a sub menu. Rather than being displayed on the main menu. And and you can put anything you like in those menus. So we've got ones, when the system comes, normally you've got one set up for membership, and that's just the way it's set up. So you can put anything you like under this membership on any menu item you want to. The only thing is that the menu header is shown when it has any sub-menu entry. So if we set up a sub-menu for trips, if you like, just call them trips. Then I put it in as live, and I put it in as, I don't know, 8,000. So it should come out around the bottom, but it doesn't, because there are no it knows that there are no sub-entry items, so it won't show you until you put one in. So once you put one in, it doesn't matter, just put that one in. And the way in which you show it, you say which sub-menu it goes into, is use the same number, same sequence number as you've used for the header. So now it's 8,000. Go live.
Number 1.
And
You didn't give it a sub-menu number.
no, I didn't give it a sub-menu number. You're right. Yeah, that's right. 8,000. It needs a. This one. Right. Yes, you've got to give it a sequence number. If you don't give it a sequence number, it gets confused. So home again. And now you've got this item here, audit trail, as a sub-menu. So it's there. It's there. So group things together if you want to. Like my information generally has been grouped together, but you could quite easily have all those out as individual items down the side. It's up to you really. You decide how you want it to be done. Right. Okay. Let's see if I've done all the items. Right. Anybody got any questions? Right. Let me just go through my list then.
It's not a question, Chris, but just to point out to any of the other new people, in your header, you've got member session for setup administrator. But I think depending on the way you set up the header, the menu drops down because we've got member session for whoever immediately above that side menu. I think it's preset dependent on that header thing.
It is. I will come to it in a few minutes. Yes.
So if you go back to the original way U3AWeb was set up, then it's as Chris has got it. But if you use an image or something else, then it drops down to the left.
That's right. Because it can't show it, because you've got an image in the way.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Okay. So the other parts of this side menu is to do with, and I've got to go back to the horizontal menu again. And this is this second section we've got here, side menu parameters here. So there are some optional pages which you include or not. Let's say things like these additional pages 1 to 12. And if you decide you have those, you have to switch them on in the menu system we've just been talking about. But if you don't want them to be shown to visitors, but you want them to be shown to your members, you've got these shown and not shown, as above we used earlier on. So you can decide who sees it and who doesn't by that. So if you want to set up something that only the membership see, you set not shown, and shown. Or if you've got something for the visitors only, you don't want to bother the members with, you just put shown in the visitor column and not shown to the others. And then you might have some in the middle which is information for for members who haven't logged in. Doesn't matter if they haven't logged in, you can still give them this information. You put it in the middle column.
So how do you associate extra page 1, additional web page 1 to the actual page that those settings are against?
Right. So yes. So how do you get it to say man in top hat, for instance?
Yeah.
Yes. Right. So here we go. This one here. So again, where if you it's this name here on the right hand side again.
Right.
So so you select the extra page 12, and then in here you just put man in top hat.
Right.
And so it knows. So down here again, hopefully we should have man in top hat. So you can see it actually, if you look at the top here, you can see that actually it's using that page here, extra page 12. Okay, so that's the, let me just go to the rest of those items in there on this one here. Right, so that covers the extra pages. You've then got the meetings, which monthly meetings or whatever you call them. Again, you can name them as you want to. You've got the option to say, well, I'm only going to show those to my members and not show them to visitors. And your events page, you can do the same. The third section here is to do with external webs. You can put items in the menu which just link directly out to somebody else's website, or that they link to somewhere inside the system. So for instance, I've got here set up at the number 5 can't remember what it's linked to. We'll have a little look when it's left. So let's go and have a look. So link number 5. No, right at the top here. Oh, I've got it. Yes. So I've set it up to our puzzles group. So there's an entry up here called it's at the top called our puzzles group. And if you set one out, use one of those, you can use that to link directly into your puzzles thing, rather than them having to go through the group list. So if you have something which is fairly important coming up, that you might want to put it in, you can change, you can make it come up in red, and you can have it at the top there, and they can click on it and it'll go straight to the page, which explains about the AGM or whatever. So you can make things come up higher than you want to. Right, okay, let's go on. Let's just do the last section in here. The only other thing on this left-hand side here is to do with the message forum. And the message forum, you've got two options of how that message forum is shown. Either giving the full, well, when I say full details, it's not quite full details because it might be fairly long, but a good description of what each particular entry, and I think you can have 3 of those, or you can change it to a summary list and update it and update it. I think there's only one there. So, but you get a much cut down list, and you get a lot more items on there. So the way in which you show the message forum, if you want to do that, that's you decide that there. And the last thing on the list is if you're using the 7.
Can you turn that off then?
Can you turn off the message forum?
Yeah.
Yes. If you don't want it at all, there's a switch in systems details which says I don't want to see it at all.
Lovely.
And the last thing in here is the 7-day event calendar. This shows you the next 7 days meetings and that sort of things, and then you've got the controls of it down here, so you can go to next month or next week. You know, you can just move it around from there. That comes out there. So I think that is the all the items there which on to do with the side menu. It's a lot to take in. Everybody happy with that? I mean, any questions? So the third section is the header. Much simpler than all the other things. You've basically got 3 options with the header. And this again is set up in systems details, and you can decide. You've got 1 of 3 options, and you set it up using the website header drop down, and you have the standard one, which is the white one, which you can just have. Again, it takes 2 to come. Which just shows the name, the charity number if you've got one, the person who's logged in, and the logo. You can make that a color, and you can make that any color you want. And the way in which you do that is use so you set it to a background color, and then what I've got it set up here is the next parameter along is the color you want it to, and you can use any one of the any color you like. So there's, I don't know, 50,000 colors or whatever it is, and I don't know whether you've got one you can use, but the one that I find very easy to find out the numbers of, right, it's called htmlcolorcodes.com. I find this one is the easiest one. So it's htmlcolorcodes.com, and basically you can choose your sort of base color down there, and then when you get to a particular one, then you drag this across to the actual color you want, and there you've got it at the top here, and you just pick up the whole of that, including the hash sign, and I'm going to put you back to this one, and then you put that number into there and update it, and then that color you've chosen will appear at the top. So if I now update. So I say I chose this bright yellow thing just to make it stand out, so that's the second option. The third option is to put an image at the back here. Now, I think we found finding an image that goes on the top here is quite difficult to do. Let me just switch on what I've got. Anyway, let's do that. So if I take the third option here, you can see that. Yes, I'm still back there. Yeah, and this is the background image. and I go top. And so now, if you put, you really need your image to be on the ratio of 10 to 1, and to make it look okay. If you because it's going to squeeze it, and you don't really want to take half your web page up with an image at the top. So you want it will make it fit to the width of the screen, and so you need to find either an image like this, and if you put one image in, it stays solid all the time. If you put more than one image, which this one is, because I put the same image and then I put the same image in with.
So is that about 300 width by 30 height?
It's 900. It's 900 width by 90.
Oh, great, thank you.
But you know, if you made it 2000 by 200, it would squeeze it down anyway to so it decides what the width is, and then from there the height turns. So it will so if you've got a 10 to 1 ratio, it'll end up looking like that. But if you end up 2 to 1 or a 5 to 1, you're going to find it works more and more down the page.
Yeah.
So so you can have multiple images here, and they are set up in, go back to systems details again, in a thing called images, which is here. And when you insert it, so here are the ones that are, oh no, here are the ones that I'm using, those two. And it will rotate those. I'm not quite sure it wasn't a minute ago, but so when you insert the image, which you choose the name of the image here, and then you click background header, and when you submit it, that will then sit behind a blue background or a bluish background, and it'll say background image here. So there's 2 here at the moment. You can have 5. You can have a dozen if you want to.
So if you wanted more than one image, right? So you want say 2 images side by side. Then what would you want? You would want what, 450 times 45? Or like.
So well, you mean if you took 2 images and stuck them together into they've got to be a single image. So you'd have to with an image editor or something.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So you'd have to create it externally and then import it into here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Lovely. Thank you.
So you know, I was going to show Peterborough, Alan's one, because Alan's done it differently. So yes, you put in normal images, but you put 5 of them in alongside each other, and that seems quite a good way of avoiding the distortion that maybe you get if you don't get the right sized image, right shape image.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So
yeah, you're on the trademark that, Pete, Alan.
That took a heck of a long time to do, I tell you.
Well, that's why you want to trademark it. People like me would just come along and
No, you can nick it if you like. I don't care.
magic. Okay.
but there'll be different people in the picture.
Yeah, I would.
Oh yeah. Oh no, don't worry. No, all I'm interested in is sort of the coding behind it and that sort of
Chris,
stuff.
nobody else would want our belly dancers on their page. Believe me.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Right. Okay. So you know, again, I think something that we perhaps could do some, you know, if people wanted to have a session on sort of creating images for the site and the background and various other things and manipulating them, we could do that if people thought that was worthwhile doing. Right. Okay. So I think the last part of it is just is the color scheme side of things. Hang on, I'll just
Chris, before you move on, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
On our are system updates, update details. I don't seem to be able to find the menu configuration group. I've looked on the system configuration section features list, and I can't seem to find it there. Where will I find it? When the system was set up, obviously it wasn't included in the list.
So, sorry, just tell me again what you're looking for.
You've been working using the menu configuration part of the
right.
system updates
This one here?
details.
Is that the one, this one here, you mean?
No, the one above it, update system details on there.
Yes.
You were using a section that was called menu configurations, weren't you?
Ah, yes, okay. Yeah.
And I don't seem to have that section at all. So I wouldn't be able to do the things you were doing. And I've looked into the whole system configuration section features list, which, you know, when things don't appear, you can get them to appear, but I can't seem to see it. I don't know whether it's just me.
Right, okay, just as I say, we'll run a different section on this, but just a quick look at this. The reason you can't see it is because you've set it up yourself for your own little thing, and then you include items in here. So I've set up an item called menu configuration here.
Right.
And then in here, I've got show features, and in show features, here are the items I've chosen. So if I wanted to add, I can just add other items to it. It's you set it up in the way you want. So you should find it in your, well, you'll find it in your features list if it's not. So the individual items. So you know, something like website header. Hopefully, if you have a look.
Right, and you just put them all into something which
I
you call.
So number 86. So it's called website header. So if you just want to include website header in one of the sections you've already got, you just so you go back to it again. You just go into there and say, well, you know, I'll just put it on my top one here, which is called special, and I just do a Control and F, web, so header. It's not there. There it is, website header. Click on there, hit OK.
Right.
Now,
okay.
All right.
Yep, I get it now. Okay. Thanks very much.
Okay. 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 So just sort of talking about color schemes and things. We've looked at how to set the color up on the header at the top. Let me just show you how you set up. So if you wanted to, you know, make it a sort of an integrated color thing, then you can set up the colors for the side menu using these links at the top here. Edit heading entries, and this will set up the background. So this is not the menu items yet. This is the background on which it sits. So I've set it up the yellow, and I put the text in white, and there's more things about the bottom of that as well. So that's the settings for the background, and then you've got this one here, which you set up the colors you want for. So I've got here blue with a white text. So you put your background color in there, and then you put your text color in there. You say how thick you want the border to be around it. So at the moment, a very small border, I put the text size in and the margin. So these are the default settings. So if you don't define any particular item, then it will come out looking like this. So that's why most of them look like that one. But if we have a look at make a payment, which is this one here, I've overridden the item by making the background color red. So that's why this one, when it does come out, it comes out red, because I've overwritten it. It's just you've got a default settings, and you've got settings on top of that as well. So that's the way in which you can set the colours for the side menu, and then the colours for the top menu. Is back to this configuration size. So there's these 6 colours that you can put in here. You can see that the top menu has got a sort of graded colour scheme, starting at yellow, comes to blue, and goes back to yellow. If you want, so you start off putting the outside colour as, I put it as yellow, then I put the main colour as blue down here. So let's find it again. Yeah. So the menu outside colour is yellow, and then the inside colour is blue. If you want the whole thing to be a solid colour, you just make those two the same, and you end up with a solid colour rather than a graded colour. And then you've got the hover. So if you hover over it, now I've just reversed them. It does look pretty awful actually. But so if you hover over it, it's now going blue, yellow, blue, as opposed to yellow, blue. Pretty, but it sort of perhaps makes the point. And then the same for each of the selected ones down there. Right, yes, and that's those two. That's the hover colours, and then you've got the other thing there. You've got the text. You've got the colour of the text that you want, which is set to white. So there are three places there. You set the colours you want to set the main system up with, and it's in those 3 places. Is everybody happy with that? Has it been helpful? I mean,
the fact
Chris,
that this is, go on.
Sorry, Chris, just one comment on the colours. I mean, spent a lot of time last year changing them all to the official branding colours. I don't know whether other people are bothered with that sort of thing or not, but the U3A branding document has a list of colours that you're supposed to use, you know, on documents mainly, but you can use them obviously in colour to colour your website as well.
Yeah. Right.
I think Chris has set up some of those within certain features of the website.
Say again, sorry.
I think you've set up some of those within other features of the website, like within Tiny MCE, haven't you? Which is another day, but
Yes, certainly fonts, but not necessarily colours, I don't think.
right.
I always use the branding the colours from the U3A, and found them they're in the brand toolkit, and they're very easy to use. Once you get the actual numbers in whichever form you want, I just keep them as a list, so I always know when I want to use blue or yellow or whatever, and it's very easy to do.
Yes. Right. Yes. So you've got a slight grading in it, haven't you? Just looking at it here, you can see you've got the colour, and then you've got a slightly lighter colour in the middle, haven't you?
Yeah.
So it makes it look like the sort of I don't know, half the side sort of thing, a bend on it.
The fact a lot of this is for sort of newer administrators and that, Chris, just to give an idea how you can depart from the standard look and feel of your website, would it be an idea to show that, or if Neil's happy to do it, show them Neil's one, because I think that's the one that's probably departed from the standard layout.
Yeah, the most radical.
Yeah.
It was forced on me, it wasn't me, I'm not artistic.
But you certainly made yours look a lot different.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So there's Neil's, and I just looking at the colours and designing something very pretty. It's
It just shows how adaptable the system is. What
Oh
you
yeah,
can do.
very.
yeah, it looks nice, doesn't it? And they're all in good U3A colours.
Oh,
aren't
they're
they?
the U3A colours. I was you know, indoctrinated to use the U3A colours.
Yes. Good. Right. Okay. I've done all I was going to do. Do you? So I suppose the next question I was going to say is: one, is this being useful? Two, do you want to do another one? And if so, what do you want? What would be the next elements you'd like to go through in this sort of detail? Whether or not you want to have a think about it, send me a note, or what you want to say now, I'm happy to hear.
I'd be interested in the renewal process.
Yes. Yes. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that'd be useful to go through because
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I'll do that. Yes. Right.
I think that's a tricky one because you only do it once a year. So
Yeah.
you don't have the regular practice on it.
no, we
Yeah.
have to write it down.
Yep. Right. Okay. Yep. Fine. Happy to do that. And how frequently would you like to have these sessions? You know,
Every day.
if we do one in another 2 weeks, is that too soon?
Yeah. Also, I think what I'd like to also, it's using or creating emails with fields from the various tables and linking them to an email group and such like. Because I get, in the end, I'm created my own outside, and I'd like to try and use the system more, so I can, you know, create an email group, create an email template, as I said, with fields in it that I can then start sending individualized emails to people.
Yes, fine. Yeah, we can do a section on emails, and you're talking specifically about bulk emails here, rather than yes, rather than sort of renewal emails or reminder emails.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because that's right. Because you know, if we can do that, that'd be great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's good. Right. So, fortnightly for the next few weeks, would that be a good idea, or is that too soon?
3 weeks.
Any advance on 3 weeks? Yeah. Okay. 3 weeks. Anybody want to argue with that? No? Right. Okay. I'll set one up for 3 weeks. Monday afternoon seems to be the sort of time that...
Chris, I don't think you can do it in 3 weeks.
Christmas, Easter, is it?
No, you've got a session with myself and Alan and Laurie and
the Google Mail thing.
Oh, right.
So make it a month then.
Yeah,
All right.
next month's fine, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
A month's
Okay.
fine.
I'll do a session on renewals. And if it seems like there's going to be time, I'll add bulk emails into it as well. Because part of renewals is also configuring your emails to actually send out them. So they're probably linked together for everybody. So I'll do that. Okay. Right. Anything else anybody wants to ask or comment or